Well, hello. Gemini speaks. Gemini speaks. Boom, ba da boom, ba da boom. What are we gonna talk about today? Ooh, 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 ooh. Gemini speaks. So, what are we gonna talk about today? What up, what up, what up, people? What up? This is Gemini Speaks. It's another day, another day. What should we talk about? I'm in this little town called Winston-Salem. It's in the great state of North Carolina, which is above South Carolina. And my family, they quite enjoy eating out. My mom and I probably eat out at least 3 times a week, one meal. She actually eats out more often than I do because she's out and about and I'm here working. And my family, whenever we get together, we do tend to eat out. You know, it's a thing. So, I don't have good news though. I don't have good news. Let me tell you why. This is why. You need to know this. In North Carolina, it's the South. It is pretty much a different situation from a big city in terms of how much you make, how much you pay to live, cost of living, in other words. And so, all in all, it's cheap to live here. You don't pay as much in car insurance, you don't pay as much for a lot of the basic things you have. Unless it's a national company, then you pay the national price for things. So if you're in a chain restaurant, you're going to pay whatever that price is throughout the nation. Okay. How is it that they have food here priced in a restaurant, the average restaurant, no matter really what you're ordering, where you're ordering it, is very expensive. Like, more expensive than California. More expensive than New York City. Yes, you heard me. More expensive for the same type of food than those two major cities. Than Los Angeles, in case I didn't say Los Angeles specifically, and New York City, Manhattan area, which I born and raised. I go back to visit. I go to my favorite restaurants. The prices can be cheaper, if not the same. But the cost of living in New York is, of course, higher. You get paid more money. Okay, so why is it I am sitting in Texas Roadhouse paying $20 for a meal? Okay, it's a chain. I forgive that restaurant a little bit. Although they can adjust for cost of living in a different place. They really could. A lot of restaurants do, right? But this is the part that really kills me. It's not even good. It's not even quality food. A quality meal. I sent my ribs back twice. They were old, hard, not yummy. So the quality of the food is not great. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand how these people are affording to eat out $15 to $20 meals whenever they eat out for mediocre food. Mediocrity across the board. Now, there are several restaurants where you can have breakfast, and the price of breakfast is better. There's this one restaurant here called Breakfast Time. And their breakfast, which would be 2 eggs, a biscuit or toast, egg. Yeah, that's it, they had it already. And home fries or something like that. For like $2.99, $3.99, I forget. I don't really eat breakfast, so. But I think I ordered it once. I don't eat eggs. They upset me. Anyway, so, okay, that's reasonable. $3.99 for breakfast. Now, that might be hard to find in LA or in New York, to be quite honest. Unless you're at a Denny's or something. So that's an exception to the rule. And that's this one particular restaurant. But then a lot of the other stuff on the menu is way overpriced. So I wanted to get avocado toast or some dish that had avocado with egg on a toast. I ordered one time. It was $10. Now, I already don't order avocado toast, by the way, in Los Angeles because I think it's way overpriced. It is. It's about the same amount of money. In fact, it is the same amount of money. It's like $10 avocado on toast, as high as 15. But you have all these sides and whatnot, so I guess they figure, it's worth it. It's not, to me. I can go chop up avocado, because they're not it's not guacamole necessarily. It's just chopped up avocado with some salt and pepper, maybe lemon, and they spread it on the toast. I'm not paying $15 for that. So it's not something I really order, and I note in my mind that it's just a waste of my money. I'm not going to pay that for avocado on a piece of bread. The only other thing that really runs consistently cheap here are biscuits. You can get some great biscuits for $1. $1.25. If you're a biscuit eater. The biscuits are delicious, by the way. Back to the food here. So I don't understand why food is so expensive here. I really don't. And I don't know how they logically charge so much for it, because it's just not in line with salaries. It's just not. And there's not a lot of variety. And the few things that you can find are just not great. Just not great. Japanese is okay. Much better in Los Angeles. Let me see. Well, they have an influx of Mexican. This is like a problem here. But anyway, they have an influx of Mexican. They don't like the Mexicans. The blacks don't like the Mexicans. I don't even want to talk about that. That's some BS because, racism is real. We treat people a certain way because they're different. And then people who have been treated that way because they were different treat people that way who are different. I don't believe in that crap. Anyway, so Mexican is like a major choice here now, where they just didn't. When I used to come here when I was a kid, back in the 70s, there was no Mexican food, and I think there was like one Chinese restaurant. So Chinese here is overpriced as far as I'm concerned. You can go to New York and get 4 chicken wings, fried rice, for $5. They want $8 for 4 chicken wings and fried rice here. $8. And making less money. It's insane. You can get, I can't think of anything that's worth it. You want to get a lunch special from the Chinese restaurant, it's going to cost you about $10. Lunch special at a restaurant in LA for Chinese food cost you $6 if you get $6 if you get one entree with rice and including and additional 2 things, rice and lo mein, and one entree is about $6 or $7. If you want to get 2 entrees with both of those other things that I just mentioned, it's like $8 or $9. And it's like, it's a lot of food. You could just have it for 2 meals. It's ridiculous. And if you go into Chinatown, oh my God, in Los Angeles and or New York, you're going to get prices that are just beautiful. Cheap and good. Delicious. So you're paying more for something that doesn't even taste that good. It's just average at best. If not, just not good. I ordered some chicken wings over there near my auntie's house. And the chicken wings were salty as anything. The fried rice was salty as anything. And basically, to me, that means it's not edible. And I didn't eat it. I think I had 1 wing, and the rest of it was like, do you want these wings? Because I can't eat them. What else? But I was going to say something about Mexican. So the Mexican food, I have to say, is pretty authentic and decent and not expensive. So that is the only thing I really can justify spending my money on here that actually tastes like something worth my hard-earned Benjamins. My hard-earned dollars. If I'm pulling out Benjamins, it better be like freaking Kobe beef at boof. Kobe beef at some high-end Japanese restaurants. This is a side thought, by the way. One year I was visiting New York. You know, I'm from New York, so you're always going back to New York when you're from New York until you just don't want to anymore, which is where I'm at. But so I'm visiting some friends. Was it during the holidays? No, I think it was summertime, or it wasn't cold. That much I do remember. So I'm visiting some friends, and they're like, "Well, we're going to this Japanese restaurant. Come along. Don't worry about it. Come along." So we go to this restaurant. I can't think of the name of it right now. I really wish I could, but I can't. They're ordering all these dishes. I'm just, I'm along. So I'm just going along because I'm along, and I got invited to come along. So I'm not really ordering anything, and some chicky friend of theirs, friend of a friend, kind of thing, is ordering everything. There are 6 of us. You won't believe it. Well, maybe you won't believe it. I don't know. You have to know something about New York. The check was $800. $800. We did not have $800 worth of food. And this is the proof of it. We leave the restaurant. It's in Soho, actually. We leave the restaurant. We're walking. It's a beautiful day. We're walking. It's at nighttime, but we're walking. It's about 8 o'clock. No, these MFs, my friends, all male, by the way, are like, "We're hungry. Let's go to McDonald's." I'm like, "We just spent $800 on food, and you left hungry." And then all of the talk comes out. "I can't believe we spent $800 on that meal, and we are starving." So they go into McDonald's, and they all this food, and they eat McDonald's. I crack up about this. This is like, I don't know, almost 20 years ago. But just goes to show you, okay? You can drop $800 on food and leave hungry. Back to Winston. So the food here sucks. I mean, I hate to talk bad about a place, but the food here is just mediocre, overpriced, and both of those things being together equals, in my mind, they suck. The restaurants here on average suck. Now, I've only been to one soul food restaurant. I don't know where it was. I don't remember much about it because I got driven there and we all met and ate it as a group. And I think it was okay. I mean, if it was great, I'd be telling you exactly where it was and I'd tell you what I ate and I'd be like, "Oh, it was fabulous." But I can't remember all that. So it probably was okay. I could probably get a better meal in some family member's house as far as soul food is concerned. But it's crazy. Just a waste of time. Wasting my money. Every time I go out, I'm like, "Oh God, why'd I do that?" So the last meal I had that was overpriced, and this is I'm done with it now. I'm done. Well, no. I take that back. Because yesterday I wanted some lo mein, but I've tried lo mein, several different little Chinese joints, and it just wasn't anything to write home about, and it was like $10. So, which isn't terrible, but for a large lo mein. Anyway, so I'm like, "Oh God, I need something to eat." If you see my other video about food, I'm not big on food. I'm going to do another video specifically about food, but this was my video about obesity. So I'm like, well, let me go to the Mongolian stir fry or something. I forget what they call it. I need to put a little tag in here on the video when I edit it, but so they have like stir fry. You pile everything on, all you want, whatever. A medium bowl was $20. $20. With tax, 21 something. It was mediocre. It was okay. I ate it because I spent so much money for it. But no, it wasn't yummy. It was edible. For $20, something should be way more than edible. It should be somewhere between delicious and very, 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 very good. Or very delicious. Whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't. I ate it, like I said, because I spent $20 on it, and I was actually just pissed off anyway that I had to spend $20 for food, again, in this town, where the food is mediocre. Just, ugh. We went to Texas Roadhouse, okay, after my art show. We waited an hour, okay, to get into Texas Roadhouse. So, I don't know why. I don't know why we waited an hour to eat there, but we did. You know, it was like Friday night, and I guess, you know, everybody and their mother was out trying to get their little Friday night meal on. So we finally get in the place. Okay, I just have to say, they decided to put these little advertisement mini billboards up at every table. Just about. This thing, like, it's about this big. I would say it was about almost 18 by 24. Huge. At each table, like, advertising different things. In the restaurant. Like, how tacky is that? At each table. Just random. So it's, like, really loud in there. Like, too much stimulation. Visually, sound-wise. And then they start cranking this country music. As it is, I hate to say it, I'm from New York. I hate country music. I don't know who likes country music, quite frankly, except people that are, like, in places where they voted for Trump, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I can do a little bit of the old stuff, like, you know, Patsy Cline or something. But other than that, I'm not a country music person. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's twangy. They're always talking about somebody who left them, and it's depressing. Anyway, or they're singing about a horse. Anyway, I'm off subject. So they crank this country music, and no, the waitresses do not line the aisle and start doing the two-step or half-step, or I don't know what it's called. So after we sit down, we wait yet another 30 or 40 minutes for our food. My food gets there. It sucks. The ribs are hard. It's a $20 dish, which I thought, well, you know, I'll eat half the ribs here, right now, and I'll take the other half and what I don't eat, and I'll eat another day, because I'm always, like, thinking the next day, what horrific thing am I going to have to eat, because there's just no food here, and I don't feel like cooking. I'm busy. And I don't want to cook every day anyway, because I don't want to clean. You know the thing. You go out to eat because you don't want to clean. You want to eat, but you don't want all the other stuff that happens afterwards. So they suck. They come, they suck, they're hard, they're not tasty. They're cold, actually. They're like lukewarm. So I send them back. Takes them 20 minutes to bring me new ones. They bring me a half rack. I paid for a whole rack. So I have to say, where's the other half of the rack? They tell me some bull crap. They come back to the table after I say, where's the other half of the rack? They come back and tell me something like, oh, they're still cooking the other half of the rack. That's why they didn't give it to you. I'm like, really? Because I think you thought that you were just going to give me a half rack. I didn't eat. First of all, they gave me like a half rack and a little piece, and I gave them back their half rack and a little piece, and I guess they thought that little piece was half of what I had already eaten, but I didn't eat it because it wasn't there. I couldn't eat it. It was hard and nasty. It was, you know, I'm not even, this is the thing. I'm not a picky eater. Like, I don't expect every meal I sit down to be scrumdiddlyumptious. I don't. I eat out of necessity. It's something that I have to do, otherwise my stomach gets upset with me because it doesn't have food and it's just eating on itself. And, you know, apparently my body needs fuel to keep running and do these videos, you know. So it wasn't a good experience. And I'm not going to Texas Roadhouse again. Now, I've been to the Texas Roadhouse in California. I don't remember it being this hideous. And I don't remember all that advertisement that they decided to put up. I don't know why it's tacky. It's really tacky. And they're like advertising like car insurance and just tacky. Anyway, I've been to the one in LA. There's not all that stupid dancing, and and the people dancing, you don't want to see them at all, but you definitely don't want to see them dancing. They're not sexy, they're not attractive, they don't even look like they're having fun. You know, they're just doing that little two-step thing. I'm like, go away. Just go away. I'm sorry. It happened recently. I'm really kind of upset about it. I'm a little upset about it. I'm like, the food was crappy. You're dancing. You've got this advertisement going on. You're blasting this hideous music. We're all at the table just like, would it just all stop? Just stop. Ugh. Terrible. Anyway, I have to say it. Now, I don't know how it is in other towns. You know, it might just be a southern thing. I don't know. But the food here sucks. for the amount of money. Now, I don't mind sucking and it's cheap. Because I'm like, oh, it's cheap. You know, it tastes cheap. It is cheap. That's fine. It's expensive. It tastes cheap. That just pisses me off. Pisses me off. You know, they'll probably say, oh, you know, oh, food's not from New York. New York food is great. I hate to say, first of all, the variety is just all over the place. I mean, you can get just about anything that you want to eat. Except maybe like charred bugs or something, you know. And LA is the same. You know, there's a large variety of food. And, you know, I don't care. It could be cheap and it's still going to be yummy. Here, if it's cheap, first of all, it doesn't even exist. But I can only imagine. You know? In fact, I think the best meals I've had here are burgers. Yeah. Burgers. It's the best, most consistent thing that's going to be tasty is a burger. Yeah, it's not going to be cheap, though. Probably going to be like $20. $20 per burger. Are they effing out of their minds? I think they're out of their minds. So I hate eating out here. Needless to say, of course, now I'm going to go eat out tonight to celebrate a family member's birthday. And I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm going to drop 20, 25, $30 because it's downtown. Downtown restaurants are more shishi and they're more expensive. Although I have to say, the food is a little bit better. Yeah. I'm going to I just throw it to the wind. I'm like, it's going to be terrible. And I'm just going to pay for it. And I'm going to try to forget that this is about food, because it's not. This is about celebrating someone's birthday. And the rest of it is just a wrap. I'm just like, whatever. So, yeah. That's the story in Winston-Salem, North Carolina when it comes to food, in my opinion. This is Gemini speaking. You know, I could be right, I could be wrong. Check it out. Come visit. It's a beautiful little city. Well, I don't even think you call it a city. That might be a bit much. It's a town, sort of. A town with a downtown, which is better than a town without a downtown. Or without a downtown that's more than 3 blocks. Because that's kind of, you know, a lot of little towns are like that. Yeah, it doesn't have good food. Yeah. No. So that's my talk. Gemini is speaking about restaurants and this little town here. Restaurants in this little town. Oh, God. Give me a break. Oh, my God. This can't be. Oh, I was going to say. It says it's an hour. I was like, I did not talk for an hour. What is that talking about? Huh? It's a little pop-up thing. Tells me how long I've been talking. It also will tell me, like, how well the sound is being recorded. I'm always concerned about that because, you know, even though I have my new system of sound. Wait, here we go. My new system of sounds. I still don't trust it. Not yet. I should. I should have a leap of faith. It's gonna work out. Well, this is Gemini Speaks. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you got something out of what I had to say today. Because Gemini has spoken. Okay. Peace. Gemini speaks. Gemini speaks. Boom, 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 boom.